ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिनि। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। Okay, so we are continuing Adi Leela, chapter 3, external factors for appearance of Lord Chaitanya. We read the first reason. Chaitanya Simhera Nava Dvipe Avatara Simhagriva Simhavirya Simhera Hunkara. Thus the lion like Lord Chaitanya has appeared in Navadvipa. He has the shoulders of a lion, the powers of a lion, and the loud voice of a lion. Say Simha Vasukji Vera Hridaya Kandare Kalmashad Virada Nashe Yahara Hunkare. May that lion be seated in the core of the heart of every living being. Thus, with his resounding roar, may he drive away one's elephantine vices, dosha, kandare, kalmasha. Kalmasha, elephantine vices means all the sins, mistakes, etc. Prathama lila yatara vishwambhara nama bhakti rase bharila dharila bhutagrama. In his early pastimes, he is known as Vishwambara because he floods the world with the nectar of devotion and thus saves the living beings. Dubhrindhatura artha poshana dharana Ushila dharila prema diyatri bhuvana. The verbal root Dubhrun, which is the root of the word Vishwambhara, indicates nourishing and maintaining. He, Lord Chaitanya, nourishes and maintains the three worlds by distributing love of God. So only by love of God can one be nourished and maintained, not materially. Shesha Leelaya Dhare Nama Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Janaye Sabha Vishwakaila Dhanya. In his later pastimes, he is known as Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya. He blesses the whole world by teaching about the name and fame of Lord Shri Krishna. So here he is Poshana. He is nourishing and maintaining as Vishwambara uh, with the nectar of devotion. And then as Shri Krishna Chaitanya is teaching name and fame of Lord Shri Krishna. So Vishwambara says generally saying devotion, and as Shri Krishna Chaitanya specifically name and fame of Lord Shri Krishna. Tara Yugavatara Jani Garga Mahashaya Krishnera Nama Karane Kariyache Nirnaya. Knowing him to be the incarnation for Kali Yuga, Gargamuni during the naming ceremony of Krishna predicted his appearance. आसन्वर्णास्त्रयो ह्यस्य घृणतोऽनुयुगं तनुः शुक्लो रक्तस्तथा पीत इदानीं कृष्णतां गतः. This boy Krishna has three other colors, white, red and yellow, as he appears in different ages. Now he has appeared in the transcendental blackish color. So this verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:13. The yellow is referring to Sri Chaitanya. शुक्ल रक्त पीत वर्ण एति नद्युति सत्य त्रेता कली काले धरेन श्रीपति. White, red and yellow. These are the three bodily lusters that the Lord, the husband of goddess of fortune, assumes in the ages of Satya, Treta, and Kali. And in Dwapara, he takes up black. Idanim Dwapare Tinho Haila Krishna Varna Esaba Shastra Gama Puranera Marma. Now in the Dwapar Yuga, the Lord has descended in a blackish hue. This is the essence of the statements in the Puranas and other Vedic literatures with reference to the context. Dwapare Bhagavan Shama Pitavasa Nidayudaha Srivatsadivir Ankaischa Lakshanairupa. In the Dwapar Yuga, the person of Godhead appears in a blackish hue. He is dressed in yellow. He holds his own weapons and it is decorated with a Kaustuba jewel and marks of Srivatsa. This is how his symptoms are described. Again, referencing Srimad Bhagavatam. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, constantly there is a statement and there's a reference, right, from some Shastra. So, this is the Vedic approach, right? This is the approach to when we make statements, it should be supported by Shastra. So again, referencing Bhagavatam, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is showing that Krishna appears in yellow color in Kali Yuga as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kali Yuga Yuga Dharma Namera Prachara Tathi Lagi Pita Varna Chaitanyavatara. The religious practice of the age of Kali is to broadcast the glories of the holy name. Namera Prachara. See, very nice. Not Namera Kirtana. Namera Prachara is the Yuga Dharma. Only for this purpose has the Lord in a yellow color descended as Lord Chaitanya. That is the reason why Prachara is given so much importance. That we have to engage in Prachara. If you don't engage in Prachara, actually it's not being considered as Yuga Avatar, as the Dharma for Kali Yuga. So just chanting Nama is just one part of it, right? But Prachara is actually the Yuga Dharma. Please pay attention to that. So very clearly it says broadcast the glories of the holy name. Somehow we just assume that Harinam is the Yuga Dharma. Nama Sankirtan is Yuga Dharma. Yes, but Nama Sankirtan, Prachara of Nama Sankirtan is Yuga Dharma. Tapta Hema Samakanti Prakanda Sharira Nava Megha Jini Kantha Dhvani Ye Gambhira. The luster of his expansive body resembles molten gold. Tapta Hema Samakanti. Tapta, molten. Hema Sama. Hema Sama. Sama means equal. Same luster as Tapta. Tapta Hema. Tapta Hema Samakanti. Samakanti is same luster as Tapta Hema is molten gold. Prakanda Sharira. Prakanda, enormous Sharira body. Nava Mega Jini. Nava Mega is a new cloud. Jini is conquering. Kantha Dhvani. Kantha Dhvani, sound of his Kantha. Ye Gambhira is very deep. Description of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we can remember this, remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's form. Tapta Hema Samakanti Prakanda Sharira Nava Mega Jini Kantadvani Ye Gambhira. Luster of his expansive body resembles molten gold. The deep sound of his voice conquers the thundering of newly assembled clouds. Just imagine. Sound of his voice conquers thundering of newly assembled clouds. Like that. Luster of his expansive body resembles molten gold. Dairghya vistare ye apanara hata tari hasta hai maha purusha vikhyata. One who measures 4 cubits. Chari hasta means 4 cubits. In height and in breadth, by his own hand, is celebrated as a great personality, Mahapurusha. One who measures 4 cubits in height and in breadth, by his own hand, is celebrated as a great personality. Nyagrodha Parimandala hai Tara Nama Nyagrodha Parimandala Tanu Chaitanya Gunadhama. Such a person is called Nyagrodha Parimandala. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personifies all good qualities as the body of a Nyagrodha Parimandala. No one other than Supreme Lord himself possesses these bodily features. These five features certainly indicate an incarnation of Vishnu and no one else. Ajanulambita bhuja kamala. Okay, this is not that verse. Okay. Ajanulambita bhuja kamala lochana. Tila phula jininasha sudham shuvadana. Ajanulambita bhuja. Like arms that stretch, reach the knees. His arms are long enough to reach his knees. Kamala lochana. His eyes are just like lotus flowers. Tila phula jininasha. Tila phula is tila. Tila, it's the same plant. Tila phula, the flower. The same flower. Jini Nasa. Nasa is nose. Uh, Sudhamshu Vadana. Sudhamshu is Sudha. Sudha is moon. Amshu. Face like Amshu Vadana. Like, so whose face is like the moon. His nose is like a sesame flower and his face is as beautiful as the moon. So just to, so we can just remember this. तप्त हेम समकांति प्रकांड शरीर नवमेघ जिनी कंठ ध्वनि ये गंभीर दैर्घ्य विस्तार ये अपनार हाथ चारि हस्त है महापुरुष विख्यात. Okay, Nagyoda Parimandala. And then Ajanulambita Bhuja, Kamalalochana, Tilapula, Jini Nasa, Sudhamshu Vadana. Shanta Danta Krishna Bhakti Nishtha Parayana, Bhaktavatsala Sushila Sarva Bhute Sama. Shanta, peaceful. Danta, controlled. Like Shamadama. So Shanta Danta. Krishna Bhakti Nishta Parayana. Nishta Parayana is fully devoted to Krishna Bhakti. Bhakta Vatsala, affectionate towards devotees. Sushila, very good character, gentle. Sarva Bhute Sama, equally disposed towards all living beings. So many of these are very similar to Sanskrit, so we can understand this. So that was the form. Now features or characteristics. Shanta Danta Krishna Bhakti Nishta Parayana, Bhaktavatsala Sushila Sarva Bhute Sama. Chandanera Angada Bala Chandana Bhushana Nritya Kale Pari Karena Krishna Sankirtana. He is decorated with sandalwood Chandanera Angada Bala. Sandalwood bangles and armlets. And anointed with pulp of sandalwood. Chandana Bhushana. Nritya Kale Pari. He especially wears these decorations to dance in Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Puts them on when he's doing when he's chanting and dancing in Sri Krishna Sankirtana. What does he wear? Sandalwood bangles and armlets, and is anointed with pulp of sandalwood. He Sabha Gunalay Muni Vaishampayana Sahasra Name Kaila Tara Nama Ganana. Recording all these qualities of Lord Chaitanya, the sage Vaishampayana included his name in the Vishnu Sahasranama. Dui Lila Chaitanyera Adi Ara Shesha Dui Lilaya Chari Chari Nama Vishesha. The pastimes Lord Chaitanya have two divisions. Adi Ara Shesha. Adi and Shesha, meaning later. Early pastimes, later pastimes. Shesha means remaining, but later. And Dui Lilaya Chari Chari Nama Vishesha. He has 4 names in each of these 2 Leelas. 4 names in Adi Leela, 4 names in Shesha Leela. Suvarnavarna Hemango Varangaschandanangadi Sanyasakritchamashanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. In his early pastimes, he appears as a householder with a golden complexion. So yesterday we were discussing Vishnu Sahasranama reference. This is the one. So Suvarna Varna Hema Ango. Hema Anga. Hema, molten gold again. Tapta Hema, right? Where like talked about Tapta Hema. So this is also Hema Anga means body was like molten gold. Varangas Chandanangadi. Vara Anga. Beautiful body, most beautiful body. Chandana Angadi, whose body was smeared with sandalwood. Sannyasa Krit Chamaha. Sannyasa Krit. Practicing the renounced order of life. Shamaha, equipoised. Shanta, peaceful. Nishta, devoted. Shanti, okay, again peace. Parayanaha, highest resort of peace. So his limbs are beautiful, his body smeared with pulp of sandalwood, Chandanangari, seems like molten gold. In his later pastimes, he accepts the sannyasa order and is equipoised and peaceful. He is the highest abode of peace and devotion, for he silences the impersonal non-devotees. Uh, so this is Prabhupada is adding. Hmm. Yeah, so Mahabharata, Dana Dharma, Vishnu Sahasra Nama Stotra. So this is the um, Shri Baladev Vidyabhushan commenting on this verse asserts that Lord Chaitanya is the supreme personality of Godhead according to the evidence of the Upanishads. He explains that Suvarna Varna means a golden complexion. He also quotes the Vedic injunction Yada Pashya Pashyate Rukma Varnam Kartaram Isham Purusham Brahma Yonim Mundakopanishad. Rukma Varnam Kartaram Isham. This is complexion of color of golden molten gold. So like this is referencing Mundakopanishad. Like that so many references are there. व्यक्त करी भागवते कही बार बार कलि युगे धर्म नाम sankirtana sara. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is repeatedly and clearly said that the essence of religion in the age of Kali is chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Iti dvapara urvisha Tuvanti jagadishwaram nana tantra vidhanena kalavapyatha shunu. O king, in this way people in Dwapara Yuga worship the Lord of the universe. In Kali Yuga, they also worship the Supreme Person of Godhead by the regulations of revealed scriptures. Kindly now hear of that from me. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.31. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagnai Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Hi Sumedasaha. The age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Krishna Varnam. He is always repeating the syllables Krishna. He is always singing the names of Krishna. Um, Tvisha, his luster, Krishnam, not black. Although his complexion is not black, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. सुना भाई ये सब चैतन्य महिमा ये श्लोके कहे तार महिमा रसीमा. My dear brothers, please hear all these glories of Lord Chaitanya. This verse clearly summarizes his activities and characteristics. Krishna ei dui varna sadayara mukhe athava Krishna ke tiho varne nija sukhe. The two syllables Krishna are always in his mouth, or he constantly describes Krishna with great pleasure. So Krishna Varnam means two things. Either it can mean that he's always chanting Krishna, or he constantly describes Krishna with great pleasure. Both meanings are there. Krishna Varna Shabdera Artha Duita Pramana Krishna Binu Tara Mukhe Nahi Aise Ana. There are two meanings of the word Krishna Varna. Indeed, nothing else but Krishna issues from his mouth. Nothing else. Nahi Aise. Nothing else comes. Yeha Tare Bale Yadi Krishna Varna Ara Visheshane Tara Kare Nivarana. If someone tries to describe him as being of blackish complexion, the next adjective, Tvisha Akrishnam, immediately restricts him. So again, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is now giving logic, right, to understand. So he's saying if somebody says blackish, so no. Tvisha Akrishnam, Deha Kanti Hayate ho Akrishna Varana, Akrishna Varane Kahe Pita Varana. His complexion is certainly not blackish. Indeed, his not being blackish indicates that his complexion is yellow. So normally, so this is what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami does. He quotes a verse and then he explains that in Bengali. Kalau yam vidvamsasputam adhiyajante dyutibharat akrishnangam krishnam akhavidibir utkirtanamaya upasyam cha prahuryam akhila chaturthashrama jusham tadevas chaitya kritir atitaram na krupayatu. What is this? Dvitiya Sri Chaitanya Astaka, Stavamala of Srila Rupa Goswami. You know so many of these verses. By performing the sacrifice of congregational chanting of the holy name, learned scholars in the age of Kali worship Lord Krishna, who is now non-blackish because of the great upsurge or the feelings of Srimati Radharani. He is the only worshipable deity for the Paramahamsas who attained the highest stage of the fourth order, sannyasa. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, show us his great causeless mercy. Pratyaksha tanhara tapta kanchanera dyuti yahara chataya nashe agnana tamastati. One can vividly see his glowing complexion of molten gold, which dispels the darkness of ignorance. And just by looking at his complexion, it destroys ignorance. Jivera kalmasha tamo nasha kari bare anga upanga nama nana astra dhare. The sinful life of living beings results from ignorance. To destroy that ignorance, he has brought various weapons, such as his plenary associates, his devotees, and the holy name. So this we have been discussing. Sinful life is results from ignorance. Ignorance is destroyed in the association of devotees, holy name. So for which, holy name has to be chanted. How? Inoffensively, without offenses. And yesterday I was telling this, saying that if we have to chant without offenses, what should we do? Anybody remembers? Chanting without offenses. What should we do to chant without offenses?
Panchatattva mantra before.
Panchatattva mantra. Yes, very nice. Panchatattva mantra. So don't forget Panchatattva mantra. If you are doing inattentive chanting, just keep chanting Panchatattva mantra. That is the only way. And do more chanting. Panchatattva mantra and do more chanting. Right? And then only we can actually destroy all the ignorance. If you are not chanting properly, we cannot destroy ignorance. Actually, this is see, we have the most powerful weapon. We have the most powerful weapon in whole of Lord's creation, which is his holy name. Right? So it's so powerful that that scriptures are actually describing the glories of Harinam, and then it almost sounds like utpreksha, like exaggeration, because the holy name is so powerful, right? But unfortunately, we are not chanting it the right way, and that is the reason why we are not experiencing these things. So if we chant properly, automatically our ignorance will be gone. All kinds of ignorance, right? So we have to chant properly. Actually, this unfortunately for us, this morning everyday chanting has become like a routine. Actually, it should be the most celebrated activity in the day, as in most important, uh, wherein we should put all our energy, even if we don't put our energy for any other activity in the day. We should put so much energy, so much attention we should give to the chanting of the holy name. Right? That is the reason that this chanting has to be done as early as possible, as in it should be the first activity of the day. So just see, it will destroy. It has the power to destroy all ignorance, all sins, everything. It has the power to give us Krishna prema, but it has to be chanted properly. It has to be chanted properly. So beg for mercy from Panchatattva. Actually, it's only by mercy we can get over this nonsense inattention, right? And the other nama pradas. Bhaktira virodhi karma dharma va adharma tahara kalmasha nama sei mahatamaha. The greatest ignorance. So what is this ignorance? Consists of activities, whether religious or irreligious, that are opposed to devotional service. This is the greatest ignorance. Greatest ignorance is to do activities which are opposed to devotional service. They are to be known as sins. Even samanya dharma, if it is opposing to bhakti, then it becomes adharma. It's just, this is real dharma, paradharma, right? Savai pumsam paro dharmo yatha bhakyatho bhakti rajokshajhe ahaitukya pratyahata yayatma suprasidati. So we should remember that it is the greatest ignorance. They are to be known as sins. Activities which are opposed to devotional service are sins, even if it is dharma. Even if it is dharma on the apara platform, if it is opposed to devotion service, then it is papa, kalmasha, contamination, sin. बाहुतुली हरि बलि प्रेम दृष्टे छाय करिया कल्मष नाश प्रेमेते भासाया. Raising his arms, chanting the holy name, and looking up on all with deep love, he drives away all sins and floods everyone with love of God. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raising his arms, chanting the holy name, and looking upon all with deep love. Mm, He drives away all sins and floods everyone with love of God. स्मितालोकः शोकं हरति जगतां यस्य परीतो गिरां तु प्रारम्भः कुशलपथपटलीं पल्लवयति पदालम्भकं वा प्रणयति न हि प्रेम निवहम् सदेवश्चैतन्याकृतिरतितरां न कृपयतु. Again, Chaitanyastaka Stavamala. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Lord Chaitanya bestow his causeless mercy upon us. His smiling glance at once drives away all the bereavements of the world, and his very words enliven the auspicious creepers of devotion by expanding their leaves. His very words, taking shelter of his lotus feet, invokes transcendental love of God at once. His smiling glance. So we should always remember the smiling glance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It once drives away all the bereavements. It's the same as the smiling glance of Krishna. Krishna's smiling glance also takes away or drives away all bereavements of the world. And his words, very words, enliven the auspicious creepers of devotion. So by simply reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it will enliven our bhakti. So we have to take shelter of his lotus feet. Taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means what? Engaging in his mission. So this is taking shelter of his lotus feet. Taking shelter of his feet means simply following his instructions, and he is saying, Yare dekho kratare kaho Krishna Upadesh. So if we take shelter of that instruction, then we will definitely get transcendental love of God. We will get Krishna Prema. So which means everybody has to engage in preaching. Nama Prachara. So everybody has to be engaged in preaching. Of course, everybody has to be engaged in preaching doesn't mean that everybody has to sit on Vyasasana and not give a class. If it's possible, then one should do. If it is not possible, or if the one is not read enough, etc., etc., then they can support through various other activities, right? Directly. So many activities to be done. Prabhupada so clearly says that Grasta earns money, and that money, Prabhupada says the excess money means beyond what is required to maintain family, maintain body and soul together, not extravagant life, or maintaining body and soul together. Whatever extra money is there has to be used in promoting the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada talks about it in many places. Right? So taking shelter. So only if we engage in this preaching can we hope to get transcendental love. See, this is very important to understand. Krishna is very, very strict. Says Sarvadharman Parityaja. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, just engage in my service. Automatically, that Sarvadharman will happen. Many people actually misunderstand this, saying that, Chaitanya, if you come to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we don't have to surrender. No, it's just the reverse. So Krishna says, first you surrender, then I will show you your mercy. I'll show you mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I'll show you mercy, then you surrender. But without surrender, we can't go to Krishna, because surrender means without surrender to Krishna, surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means surrender to Guru, surrender to Vaishnavas. If you don't surrender, then there's no question of going back. But it is just reverse. So that is why he's called Mahavadanyaya, right? Because he's so magnanimous that he's not waiting for a jiva to surrender. He's just giving mercy directly. Take, chant holy name, right? No qualification is required. Then what will happen? Oh, I'm chanting holy name, then all my anarthas are going. Then I surrender automatically, which is why, what we tell people is when we start preaching any place where we go to start new preaching, what do? As soon as possible, within like 4 or 5 sessions, right? We should start the process of chanting. We should make them chant. right? So normally, if I'm doing Bhagavad Gita, I do by verse 2.40. Neha Bikramana Shosti. Tell the story of Ajamila, and that is the beginning of chanting. And people will start chanting. Because only if they start chanting will they actually be willing to accept whatever is being told. Otherwise, even Bhagavad Gita seems like hi-fi, simple things like, I just started one class and I was talking about Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, tolerate, and then just not able to understand, right? Because simple topics like Krishna is saying you have a body, so tolerate what is happening, but they can't understand, they can't appreciate it. So then I realized, yes, so they can't appreciate it till they start chanting. And once they start chanting, then automatically, all other things, whatever we can talk about. So which is why we don't talk about prasadam till they start chanting. As in, we'll just say, yeah, have prasadam as much as possible, like offer flowers, no, sorry, offer fruits, offer milk, offer dry fruits, etc. to Krishna and have it, right? But we will not talk about onion, garlic, and all these things till they start chanting because they can't understand, they can't accept it. But as soon as they start chanting, obviously, automatically, some purification will start happening. If they start chanting even one round, and so much of ecstasy, they'll get initial, Krishna special mercy. So then automatically they'll be able to understand and accept other instructions from Bhagavad Gita, right? So we have to, the process of chanting is what takes us from beginning till the end. Hmm. So we have to chant properly. We have to distribute this. And only if we are engaged in this way can we expect very easily to get love of Krishna. Otherwise, if you go by Krishna's way, it's very, very difficult. Very strict. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very merciful. It's not that he's not strict. This is another confusion or another misunderstanding. It's not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not strict. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is merciful, meaning uh, he gives the process by which we can actually become easily follow those things. Right? Otherwise, why would he throw Chota Haridas out? Right? Or so many things, right? Um, so strictly following, and he wanted his followers also to follow strictly. Not that it's some casual process or some sahajiya process. No, just that the mercy comes first. That is the only difference. Krishna means surrender comes first, then mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means mercy comes first, then surrender. Mm. So if we do that only, then we are going to achieve love of Krishna. So it's a very, very nice, just to understand between Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Shri Anga Shri Mukha ye kare darashana tara papakshaya hoy paya prema dhana. Anyone who looks upon his beautiful body or beautiful face simply by looking at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes freed from all sins, obtains the wealth of love of Godhead. So when we hear this, we should develop this desire. Oh, can I also see his beautiful face and beautiful body? Hmm. So we can see uh, the most Brihat Rupa in Mayapur. So beautiful. So simply by looking at his beautiful body, beautiful face, one becomes freed from all sins and obtains the wealth of love of God. So initially when I came to Krishna consciousness, I was very confused. I said like so many people are there to be worshipped. Right? Who all should I worship? Should I worship Krishna? Should I worship Jagannath? Should I worship Narsimha? Then should I worship Rama? Then should I worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Should I worship Nityanand Prabhu? So many significant personalities, devotees. Actually, if you see, everything is connected, interconnected, right? So it is the process is so clear. So it has to start with devotees first, right? So first Srivas Thakur, right? Then Bhakti Shakti, then we go to Gadadhar Pandit, uh, then Bhaktavatara, then we go to Advaita Acharya, then Advaita Acharya takes us to Nityanand Prabhu, then Nityanand Prabhu takes us to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes us to Radha Krishna. So and of course then Ishta Devata, etc. Those considerations will come. So it's a very clear process. So when we get attracted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, uh, then automatically we will we will make progress because the sins will get destroyed. So that is why, we should really this Panchatattva mantra while chanting Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, it should be with complete love and affection. Because that is the this we can understand, right? Like these five personalities, they appeared. So we have relations with devotees, so we can understand. Okay, if I really like some devotee a lot, how nicely I can reciprocate with that person. So with that mood, actually, we should call out Panchatattva, right? We don't understand Radha Krishna, we don't understand any of that, right? Because it's in a realm which we have not experienced. But Panchatattva is in a realm which we have experienced, right? Which is interaction with devotees. That is why this Panchatattva mantra is very, very important, right? And um, so, as with love and affection in a prayerful mood, we can chant Panchatattva mantra. So much power it has. Hmm. Anyavatare Sabha Sainya Shastra Sange Chaitanya Krishnera Sainya Anga Upa Ange. In other incarnations, Lord descended with Sainya Shastra Sange, with Sainya and Shastra, soldiers and weapons. But here, Sainya Anga Upange. Anga is plenary parts and Upange is associates. Basically, plenary parts are Nityananda Prabhu and Dvaita Acharya, and then associates. Hmm. Right? So that's all his incarnation. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always the most worshipable deity of the demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, who came in the garb of ordinary men bearing love for him. He instructs his own pure devotional service to his own devotees. Will he again be the object of my vision? It's against Tavamala. So, what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's position? He is always worshipable by all, including Shiva and Brahma. And they came in the garb of ordinary men when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, bearing love for him. So, they also had love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he instructs his own pure devotional service to his own devotees. Angopanga astra kare swakarya sadhana. Anga Shabdera Artha Arashunya Diyamana. His plenary parts and associates perform the work of weapons as their own specific duties. Uh, so they perform the work of weapons. And please hear from me another meaning of the word Anga. Anga means actually limb. That's what he'll explain now. Anga Shabde Amsha Kahe Shastra Paramana Angera Avayava Upanga Vyakhyana. According to the evidence of revealed scriptures, bodily limb, anga, is also part is also called a part, and a part of a limb is called a partial part. Okay, so I'll explain this. Bodily limb, anga. Hmm. So there are two words. One is called anga, and the other is amsha. Bhagavatam uses the word amsha, right? Here, the use of the word anga is made. Anga is a bodily limb. Amsha is a part, and a part of a limb is called a partial part of a limb, right? Upanga. O Lord of Lords, you are the seer of all creation. You are indeed everyone's dearest life. Are you not therefore my father Narayana? Narayana refers to one whose abode is in the water, born from Nara, Garbhodakashai Vishnu. Hmm. And that Narayana is your plenary portion. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They're absolute and not creations of Maya. So Brahma is saying this prayer to Krishna, saying that, are you not my father Narayana? Hmm. You are indeed my father Narayana. Narayana refers to one whose abode is in the water born from Nara. Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is called Narayana. And that Narayana is your plenary portion. Uh, So this is to, here I think the word Anga, Angam, plenary portion. Mm. Jalashayi Antaryami Yei Narayana. Teho Tomar Amsha Tumi Mula Narayana. Same thing he's saying. Jalashai, who sleeps on the water, right? He is Antaryami, he is the localized Paramatma. He Narayana, he is Narayana. Sayo Tomar Amsha, he is your Amsha. Tumi Mula Narayana, you are the original Narayana. Anga Shabde Amsha Kahe, Seho Satya Hai. Maya Karya Nahe Sab Chid Anandamai. The word Anga indeed refers to plenary portions. Such manifestations should never be considered products of material nature, for they are all transcendental, full of knowledge and bliss. So basically, see, actually, easier way to understand this is Anga. Actually, he has more, is more intimate because Anga, bodily limb, actually there is connection. There is, like we feel very like hand is an Anga, leg is an Anga, head is Anga. These Angas are very intimately connected with the body, right? Amsha is like somewhat like distant. So in that way, Anga has little more intimacy than Amsha, but otherwise, technically, Anga and Amsha are the same. We don't have to break our heads. Advaita Nityananda Chaitanya Radui Anga Angera Avayava Gana Kahiye Upanga. The Advaita and Sri Nityananda Prabhu are both Anga. Uh, the parts of the two limbs are called Upangas. Parts of these two limbs. So whoever comes from Advaita Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu in terms of disciplic succession, etc., are Upangas. But they are called Angas. Angopanga Tikshna Astra Prabhura Sahite Say Sava Astra Hoy Pashanda Dalite. Thus the Lord is equipped with sharp weapons in the form of his parts and plenary portions. Anga and Upanga. Angopanga Tikshna. All these weapons are competent enough to crush the faithless atheists. Tikshna Astra. Very sharp weapons. They are sharp weapons. Uh, what they'll do? Pashanda Dalite. Pashanda is atheist, Dalita is to trample, destroy, crush. So devotees are not without tattva gnana. They're not sentimental. They're ready, their sharp weapons prepared to destroy atheists, which means tattva is an integral part of devotion, right? So we cannot think that bhakti just means some bhava, sentimentalism. No, it's completely based on philosophy, and that's why he's saying they are astras. They are very tikshna astras, they're very sharp weapons, which are prepared to destroy uh, pashandas, right? Atheists. Nityananda Gosai Sakshat Haladhara Advaita Acharya Gosai Sakshat Ishvara. Nityananda Gosai is directly Haladhara, Lord Balaram, and Advaita Acharya is the personality of Godhead himself. Shivasadi Parishada Sainya Sangelaya Laya Dui Senapati Bule Kirtana Kariya. These two captains, Senapati, Senapati Prabhu is also there. With their soldiers, such as Srivas Thakur, travel everywhere chanting the holy name of the Lord. Pashanda Dalana Mana Nityananda Raya Acharya Hunkare Papa Pashandi Palaya. Lord Nityananda's very features indicate that he is the subduer of the unbelievers. All sins and unbelievers flee from the Lord loud shouts of Advaita Acharya. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Okay, so we'll stop here, and next we will go into the fourth chapter, which is I'll just see what are the important verses. Another 30-40 verses are there in this chapter. Then we can go into the fourth chapter, which is the internal reasons for appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyway, a lot of this is just Shravanam for our own purification, not much to be spoken. But yeah, these things we don't normally hear, so it's nice to hear Chaitanya Lila. Okay, any comments, questions, anything anybody wants to say? Okay, we'll conclude. श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। वाचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। कोटि वैष्णव की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Prabhu.